Hermanos y hermanas, bienvenidos al podcast de los Seeds of Success. Yo soy Colin, el autor de este podcast, y bienvenidos a la lección de hoy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Seeds of Success podcast. This is your host, Colin Walters. We are not going to do this thing in Spanish, although that would be dope. And maybe that's a goal for a future episode. But I'm just hot off the plane, coming back from Mexico, a little surf trip with the boys. And so I wanted to give you very brief, high level of what went down, talk about how freaking dope Todos Santos Mexico is, but then also step into the lessons, takeaways, key reflection points, and different pieces that I hope will be valuable and applicable to you moving forward in your life. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. And so first and foremost, we were out there in Todos Santos, Mexico to celebrate my good man, Zach, getting married to his amazing fiance, Greta. And so it was a week dedicated to celebrate him and them and their future together. That was the reason for the trip. There was six of us basically rolling deep in a suburban all around Todos Santos in Mexico this week. It was freaking so cool. We had, surfboards strapped to the top of the car. It was living a week in no shoes, no socks, just straight bare feet or flip-flops when necessary. Wasn't all that often. Board shorts, no shirt, sun shirts, you name it. It was awesome. We had, I don't know, 500 plus tacos and ate a whole bunch of good food. Tried to make a brunch one morning, almost got my face blasted off. Me and my buddy Tim trying to throw together a brunch for everybody. The broiler blew up on us. Um, so much, dancing, did salsa one night. What journaling, reading, just hanging by the pool, um, and a whole bunch of surfing. So, anyways, it was an amazing week, and I would really love to still be there. Just waking up, going to the beach, not having anything to worry about besides not trying not to get throttled by waves. I am by no means a surfer by any stretch of the imagination, and the guys I was with definitely are. So it was fun to A, get throttled and try it out for myself and be humbled by how powerful the ocean is, but then B, to be able to watch them actually surf. It was sick and just enjoy some time. So but I want to dive into the lessons and the takeaways here. And the first thing that comes to mind is basically how I even started coming up with this episode in the first place, which was I was feeling super sad with this trip ending. It was like that vacation's over type of sadness and blues. And I just didn't want it to end. I was having so much fun and enjoyment hanging out with these guys and just a week together to get away. And I didn't want it to end. And so when I was driving home today, I felt like I needed to do something. And so I pulled into a Starbucks and went and got a coffee. And I was going to bring it into the car and just keep driving. But then I had an urge to go grab my backpack, grab my journal, sit down, and just start writing. Because if there's anything that I continue to learn over these last, I don't know, like 8 to 10 months, it's that writing is so cleansing for the soul. Writing brings so much clarity to thought. Writing helps us make sense of what we just experienced and allows us to start planning for the future in a way and really get to the core of kind of what we're thinking and feeling and what we're being in the present moment. And so I went and grabbed it and I just sat down and I wrote, 3 pages of journaling. I was there for, I don't know, like an hour and a half and just writing down, recapping things, highlights from the trip, lessons and takeaways, feelings and thoughts and, questions that I'd been thinking about. And it was a very, maybe healing is the right word, or maybe healthy. It felt like a very healthy part of this entire adventure. And so I guess, my first point to you is that if you feel that, you're seeking answers, you're seeking clarity, you got a bunch of shit going on in your head, take pen to paper. And I say like handwritten, pen to paper. There is something so powerful in that, right? And just start writing whatever comes to your mind and just go and just let it be free. Let it be natural. Nobody is opening and reading this besides you. This is for you. And so that would be the first thing is like, don't be afraid to venture off the path and go and take a little mini adventure and continue and extending the trip in a way is kind of how it feels like I did and making more meaning of it. So that's going to be the first thing that I start with. The second thing is something that my buddy Eric told me about, which is it's this thing that I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've heard it 1,001 times in your life. All you can do is try. And Eric was not even telling this to me at this point in time, but it was basically there was, some big sets coming in and he was a little tired. And his line that I remember hearing was, all you can do is try. You go, you paddle out. If you get a wave, you get a wave. If you don't, you don't. All you can do is try. And it's one of those things where when you hear it at a certain time in a specific moment, some things just hit you differently. And that one hit me differently at that point in time because I was still a little bit fearful looking at these freaking waves. I'm over there anticipating like 1, 2, maybe 3 foot waves, and we're looking, I don't know, at least 6, 7, 8 foot waves, which from the beach don't even look that big. But then, holy shit, when you get out there, that's a whole nother world. So I had that in the back of my head when he said that. And so the next, maybe it was that evening, we went out and I'm like, you know what? It's time to give this thing a freaking shot. So I'm walking out there and having a little self talk with myself about all you can do is try, right? No matter what it is in life, whether it's something with work or speaking up and, addressing a conversation that needs to be had or you're going for some physical feat or stretching for a goal or whatever it may be, right? All you can do is give it your very best. And I know that's super cliche and I know it's super, simple, but simple and cliche are usually things that we should tune into a little bit more, at least in my experience. And so, yeah, I went out there, went for this wave, and let me just tell you that I got absolutely mangled by these waves and got spit up on the shores pretty quickly. I still feel it in my left shoulder, but it made the entire experience that much more real. I remember coming back and journaling about it and just remembering how alive I felt in that moment, right? Just going for something and giving it your best and trying, right? And then it has a story that lives on because like it was an 8 foot nosedive repeatedly that I did until I was washed back up on shore. And it was exhilarating. It was amazing. But who knows if he had not have said that in that moment of time, if I would have really gone for it, because it also encouraged me, like, if I'm going for that wave, I freaking went for it, right? It was 110% commitment to go for it, right? It may not have been executed to perfection. And my left shoulder may still really freaking hurt because of this thing. And it hurt the rest of the week, even just paddling around and trying to surf some more. But nothing will be able to replace the stories and kind of that new character that you develop by trying things that are hard and failing and but then becoming a bigger, stronger version of yourself through it. So that's kind of the second thing that comes to mind that hopefully you can apply. Let me see. I got okay, so this one's going to be kind of twofold. I was supposed to come back Thursday and I made the call on Wednesday that I was going to spend the extra $300 to extend my trip to Saturday, which is when the majority of the group was leaving. There was one other buddy leaving on Thursday. We were on the same flight, but I wasn't ready, and I wanted to maximize the time with the guys and the trip and make the very freaking most of this thing. And so it was basically a no-brainer at that point. $300, $318 to be exact, to extend the trip 2 days and be able to fly back with everybody, ride in the Suburban back with everybody, like just complete the trip is what it felt like. And so that was a no-brainer. It is like how I think about those things and sense of priorities is experience over money all freaking day. Um, Time with friends, 2 days in Mexico over. There was like a couple of chores that I needed to do over the weekend, right? Like make a goodwill pile. I'm like been working on this, like getting rid of things, minimalist thing right now. But like, yo, that can freaking wait. 2 days in Mexico on the bachelor trip with the buddies over doing some household chores that can be done any other day of the week when I get back, right? There was no pressing timelines with anything. And so absolute no brainer taking experience over money any day of the week. Why else do we work and make money if it's not to live life to the fullest, in my opinion? At least maybe with this decision right here. Not maybe, but with this decision right here. Um, so that was something that happened. And then secondly was the very last morning. It was gearing up to be a pretty late night. And what I don't know, maybe went to bed at like 2 a.m., something like that on the Friday night, leaving Saturday morning. And it was one of those where two guys wanted to go surf. I didn't need to go surf. But I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity to go back to our beach one last time. And so it was, go to bed at 2, wake up at 6, and then go to the beach and see the sunrise, see them surf, or could have slept in a little bit and then got up, packed up, and bounced. How I think about these things is, let's do today what definitively I cannot do come Sunday, right? And so that was a very easy decision for me. Was I like, you're going to be tired either way, a decision like this, right? So that was a no-brainer. Is get up at 6, forget the extra couple 1 to 2 hours of sleep, go to the beach, see the sunrise, see the boys surf, have that last experience, make the most of the moment that we're in before it's not here in 24 hours. And so thank God I did that. I was super pumped. Also got some pretty sick photos. And it was just amazing. Like, get there, sun is like not up yet, and it's like, crisp orange out. You see whales in the distance, blowholes in the distance. You got the boys who are now paddling out, catching a wave as the sun's coming up. Had some coffee. Like, it was sick. So anyways, doing the thing today that you can't do tomorrow is something that I'm always thinking about, that I hope you can apply to your life as well. Let me see if I got anything else in here. Um, last thing. Here's the last thing that I'll leave you with is, most of you know that I love travel. And I think that there are so many different aspects to travel that I want to point two of them out. One, you have the big adventures, right? The surf trip, the going to the beach for 4 hours and surfing, or, say that you're catching a train through Europe and you're bouncing around, or you're doing the big ski trip to somewhere, whatever, right? Like, and those are super epic, and I'm all about it 100%. It's not to also forget all the small things too, though, because there are so many small moments that, when, as we are going through life, that are, in my opinion, so significantly important to A, participate and engage in, and then B, also reflect on the importance of those, because those small moments for me are like, they're almost like the glue that holds everything together in a way. And so, like, we had some epic times this week, and it's some of the small moments, like talking Spanish with some of the vendors and always trying to stumble my way through, making sure I'm giving a valiant effort to connect with them and speaking their language, right? Definitely know enough Spanish to get by in foreign countries. And so always practicing, but then also, like, we're getting churros this night, and I'm telling this guy who runs the churro stand how much I liked his hat and his gear and his sweatshirt. Like, he was all decked out in churros el poblano, and I'm like, dude, this is like, I love it. And he wanted to trade hats with me, and so I traded the hat that I had with the hat on his head, and we kept each other's hats, and that was then my hat for the rest of the trip. And now I have it, and it's probably around here somewhere, but it's my new favorite hat, and that made my entire day. Like, that small connection that brought him so much joy, that brought me so much joy, and like, the rest of our group thought it was like a cool little experience. It was just one of those moments where that's some of the good stuff, right? And so freaking love that. And then maybe another one, just like Perla. She had this like little coffee stand, juice stand, made bagels, and little brunch spot just in the foothills of Todos Santos. So, like, and we just walked to it from our Airbnb called Casa Rancho, and it was just so fun to engage with her, speak Spanish, connect with her. I think we sat there for, I don't know, 45 minutes or so, and then the other guys came up and ordered stuff, and like, it was just so fun to be able to learn about her, some of the culture. She taught us about some of the things and languages that are spoken there and why they're spoken these certain ways. And so you're just learning little bits of culture and history and getting connection with the people around. And it's like, those little moments, right? Talks on the beach with, each of the guys one-on-one, and, meaningful conversations that are brought up periodically throughout the trip, or helping the lady in front of me be like the translator for her and the vendor because she can't figure out how to, ask for band-aids. And so then being kind of that medium that feels, like I'm adding value in this moment to both of their lives, is like those little things, right? And so maybe that's the last thing I want to leave you with, is just like enjoying the big moments, the big adventures, and creating those, because those are epic, live on forever, bring us alive, right? And also using those small, precious moments to find even more meaning, using that as the glue that kind of pieces all of this together, and then allowing that to create an overall wonderful experience in life and travel and adventure, whatever it may be for you. So anyways, I'll go ahead and stop there. It was an awesome week. Anybody that has not been to Todos Santos, it's a special place. As my man Eric told me beforehand, and I went and learned that, yes, indeed, that is a very special place. So I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Seeds of Success podcast. Nos vemos pronto, y gracias por sus esfuerzos de escuchar. And I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Seeds of Success podcast. If you got to the end of this episode, can you please do me a huge favor and leave a 5-star rating and review? This helps me be able to reach out to bigger guests and also be able to get access to special events and activities that otherwise would not be possible without your support. So if you could please take just 3 seconds and leave a 5-star rating and review, it would mean the world to me, and I will see you on the next episode.